update. My hair is actually falling out because of stress, so yeah, there's that. Also, the glass in my RV is warped because the ceiling is falling down, and yeah, it is causing the actual glass, because it's like a polyglass, um, because it's for vehicles, because it's an RV. Um, it's warping. And I don't know what to do about that except move the fuck out. So yeah, that's not going so well. Everybody basically says, "Oh, thoughts and prayers. Really hope it works out for you," but nobody's actually willing to do anything, and I can't do anything under my own power because I'm on disability, and a lot of the things that I would need to get into housing solutions involves not being so low income, not having a lack of residential address. It's really hard to get back into society once you fall out the bottom, which is what happened to me. I fell out the bottom, became homeless. I tried so hard to hold on to everything I had, but unfortunately, life had other plans for me, and for a while it was okay. Like, there was a housing program that promised me no matter what, even if they dissolved, they'd still get me housing. They didn't. They ended up dissolving in 2023 and kicked everyone else back out onto the streets. That's when I got my RV. And it's been rough living in it, but like, what else am I supposed to do, man? um, I've been asking for help, and some of the most responses I've got were thoughts and prayers. Oh, I really hope things work out. Oh, well, you know, I really wish I could help you. Well, I don't need your well wishes, do I? No. um, One person was even baffled that I was asking for help. They were like, "What do you mean help? Give specifics." And I'm like, "I just gave a list of acceptable outcomes that I would accept, very specific outcomes. For example, I said I would be fine with renting a basement for a while. If somebody just had a spare basement they weren't using, I would be fine with renting a room for an affordable price. I would be fine with, just a bunch of different solutions." And they were still baffled that they just didn't understand what I was asking for. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I listed a shit ton of acceptable outcomes that I would be okay with, up to and including just having a bushcrafter build me a little cabin out in the woods for shits and giggles, and then I just go live in that. Um, like, I am not picky about the solution as long as it's viable and I can move forward with it, but still, that's not good enough. I don't know what they thought I was asking for, but they were like treating me like shit over it and trying to argue about nothing. And it's like, my ceiling's collapsing. I don't have time for that shit. My ceiling is, in fact, collapsing. Like, it's not a fear I have, it's an event that is happening and it is scaring me. So, yes, I do fear it, but it's not because it's imaginary, it's because it's happening. Um, like I said, the actual glass of my RV is warped because of the pressure from the walls collapsing and condensing and crunching down because the ceiling is falling down. And trying to explain to people that just because it looks okay right now doesn't mean it is really difficult, because they think that a collapsing roof looks like a sway back wreck. No, it doesn't look like a sway back wreck. It looks like fine, 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 suddenly boom, it collapses. That's how it happens. Like, the walls seem solid, but at the same time, they're full of holes because I have carpenter wasps, carpenter ants. I'm allergic to wasps, so that's back burner bullshit. um I have to get out of here soon, or it's gonna collapse on me and I'm gonna be under it when it goes, and then everyone's just gonna be like, "Oh wow, who could have predicted this? I'm so upset at this event that has nothing to do with me that I didn't step up to prevent. Pay attention to me, pay attention to me." People are gonna try and use it for clout. Like, "Oh, I feel so terrible. This makes me feel so terrible. Blah, pay attention to me and not the person who's under the rubble." Nah. What the fuck? Yeah. People know about me. Like, there was this gentleman that wished that I would have a good day, eh? And I'm like, you want me to smile while my roof is falling down on me? You're not willing to step up so that my roof doesn't fall down on me so that I can have a good day? Then fuck you. I don't owe you a smile. I don't owe you pleasantries. I don't owe you pleasing you when literally I will die if something doesn't change. There are other possibilities in the works. I'm not going to jinx myself by talking about them, but I do have a few people working on trying to help me with housing. They haven't gotten back to me yet with it, but, you know, I'm trying. It's really hard for medical reasons as well. Like, I have a lot of medical issues going on, and it's really difficult to get medical treatment because not only do I have trouble transporting myself to the doctor, I have trouble following through on some doctor recommendations. Things like soaking my feet so that my calluses don't crack and bleed anymore. Things like cleansing my colon for an endocolonoscopy. I still don't have access to running water, much less a shitter that I can access 24 hours a day. And anybody who's ever cleansed their colon before knows that you have to have 24/7 access when you're cleansing your colon, or you can have accidents. You will shit your pants. So they can't even check my colon because they did find polyps they thought were cancerous, and it turns out they weren't. But still, I developed polyps, which affect my digestion. I developed cysts on my ovaries, which I can't have a laparoscopy, laparotomy, a lapo something anyway. Because that would require cutting me open and then anesthesia, and then even though it's an outpatient procedure, meaning you don't have to stay in the hospital afterward, you just have to go home with somebody monitoring you to make sure you don't like aspirate your own vomit and shit. I don't have anybody for that. I don't even have running water. I would have to like wander into the public bathrooms if I feel like vomiting, which, you know, I don't think I would make it that far because, you know, I wouldn't really be able to walk that far if they cut me open to remove the cysts. So there's a lot of procedures that I need that I can't have. So that's difficult. There's a lot of medical equipment that I might need that I can't use, specifically because I don't have a wall to plug it into because I don't have electricity. So sucks to be me. There's a big black mold problem still. So that's killing me and my cats. Oh, that sucks. But, you know, what am I going to do about it? Yeah. Gonna try and renew my license in South Dakota because I can't find my birth certificate or social security card, and it would take weeks to get them, and I don't have that time. I might barely have enough time to get mail in from South Dakota because they require that when you go to renew online, but then they have to like mail my new license out, then I have to receive it, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. It sucks. There's a lot of ways in which my life could go bad and that it is going bad, but I'm trying my best. So yeah. Like and share if you think people don't understand what homelessness is really like and want to see it firsthand, because I can show you. Like, my windows are warped from the collapsing of my camper roof, and everybody thinks, oh, you have a camper. That's fancy. You should be fine then. And they think like a new 2026, you know, 5 slide out monstrosity. No, a 1988, and it's failing. Like, it's physically failing, and it's gonna kill me. Yeah. So I guess that's all I have. Oh, my garden died. I made the mistake of leaving it out overnight with the frost, and yeah, so that failed. I've given up on it for now because I got enough other issues going on. The panic attacks every day have been nerfing me when it comes to blood pressure and heart rate. The doctors have even diagnosed me with basically the blood pressure of a corpse before. So There's a shit ton of other things I gotta get going on. Hopefully they don't just hospitalize me, because like, who's gonna take care of my cats if they do that? And I'll lose everything I own if they do. Oh yeah, in America they have criminalized homelessness. So those who don't live in the U.S., what they're doing, and they excuse it with, oh, but we only mean in the most extreme cases. If you are found to be unable to provide a certain standard of care to yourself, then they will institutionalize you in either a mental hospital if you are found to be mentally insufficient, or in prison if they can't find a mental hospital bed for you. And by that they mean if you can't provide yourself running water, if you can't provide yourself electricity, if you can't provide yourself a residential address. So anybody caught sleeping outside can, and probably will be, thrown in jail. And in jail, you can, in fact, be required to hold down a job, quote unquote, and work, but they don't pay you in prison. They take the pay that you would have gotten and spend it on the prison. And paying the employees, hi baby, and giving bonuses to the employees. So basically, it is slave labor in prison, and they want the homeless people to be imprisoned so that they can garner slave labor for the businesses that don't want to pay their employees a fair wage. Yeah, that is what they are doing. It's not a fear. It's not an over-exaggeration. That is what they are actually doing. It sucks. Oh yeah, and the hantavirus. Hantavirus? I don't know. It's haunting anyway. There is a cruise ship. Some people got off early before the virus was found, which means that they could still be asymptomatic carriers of the virus. It can pop from person to person. So, yeah, mask up, guys. The best way to stop the spread is to not interact with the sick people enough to get yourself sick. People still catch the bubonic plague because people are dumb with like, oh, but the plague doesn't exist anymore, so I'm not going to take precautions. Yes, it does still exist. You should still take precautions. If you're going to be interacting closely with strangers, wear a mask. I mean, if you're by yourself in your house, you're not likely to encounter anyone who's carrying the plague unless you have strangers in your home, or you have loved ones who have encountered strangers, like on a train or an airplane. Oh, yeah. And a lot of cheaper airlines have dissolved and gone bankrupt. So now there's only expensive airplane flights or expensive trains or buses. So public transport is taking a massive hit. And the economy is tanking, no matter what the quote unquote professionals say. It's tanking because nobody can afford to eat out, go to concerts, go to the movies, go to theater productions, go to festivals, they can't go to events. And without being able to go to events, those businesses will go bankrupt. They won't exist anymore. You're going to see a lot of closing of theaters, bowling alleys, malls, whatever. Amusement parks. You're going to see a lot of them closing because there aren't enough people paying for tickets because nobody can afford anything in this economy. Yeah. So that's bad. And it's going to get worse before it gets better because we are currently being run by a psychopath who has made it illegal, by the way, to say anything against Christian nationalism, to say anything against, to support the LGBT plus crowd, to support transgender rights, to support women's rights, to support any religion other than Christianity. They've made it illegal. You can be arrested for terrorism, domestic terrorism, by expressing the fact that you are not a Christian. It should be terrifying even to other Christians, but it's not, because the cultists run the country. They shouldn't. Nobody's coming for Christianity, like trying to erase it. They're just saying, hey, maybe don't try and enforce us being Christian with you. Yeah, they consider boundaries assault. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna go now. My life is a disaster, and I hope your day is going better than mine is. Bye.